from different locations. I can attack from out here. I can attack through the ramp down below, but instead I decided to make myself a nice new home inside of Dopa's original main. So I don't know why I decided to do this. I think something was going through my head. Some conscious, something on my left shoulder was telling me build a hatchery inside of Dopa's main because I don't know, it can humiliate Dopa. You can build spine crawlers on his ramp. And this was pretty much my plan, but Dopa had other ideas. He was pushing out, and that's actually a pretty menacing force considering he had 5 gateways, and he even had this last remnant of the Protoss base, this proximity pylon, warping in 2, 3 zealots, 4 zealots, and a sentry. So he was trying to make a last-ditch effort to counterattack me. He knew that I was on my natural expansion, and I was trying to drone up, as you guys can see, trying to catch up and close out that economic gap. But unfortunately, I really didn't have any forces to deal with this impending counter. I actually did not expect such a large attack, and there goes the Queen. Good force field from Dopa, preventing my drones from running away. I can't even call back reinforcements. All these drones, nobody gonna be able to. Well, that drone made it in. Guess he was on the diet, the slim fast diet plan. The drone makes it out, but my hatchery goes down. And I realized I needed to call back all of my Zerglings from my new base over here. But unfortunately, I couldn't get my Zerglings down the ramp. Dopa here with very, very good force field placement, preventing me from running down and saving the natural. So good attack from Dopa. And just like that, Dopa just bought himself right back into this game after he lost his main nexus. Looks like he's rebuilding a new nexus out here towards that 5 o'clock expansion. And I don't know, things right now not looking the best for me. I think both of us were at this point around 1 base each. You can kind of say too if you consider this as a second base, but really my whole plan with this new home sweet home was just to build a bunch of spine crawlers and try to tentacle my way to victory on the top of Dopa's original main base. I was trying to defile the Protoss homeworld of the 6 o'clock higher position, but unfortunately, I really didn't have all that much there, and Dopa here making yet another attack, coming in with a pretty substantial force of Zealots, Stalkers, and Sentries. You guys can see that income still very much higher than mine, and this is where I realized it's time to abandon ship, run all the drones away, get into the Nidus network, and I even told Dopa over vent, I was like, you know what, Dopa, you can have this main base. I found a better home anyways. So Dopa comes in here with a very, very well-timed attack. Very good counterplay from Dopa after losing his main nexus to not, you know, succumb to the pressure and think, you know what, I have to go in and attack. I have to try to kill off and do as much damage as I can, and that's exactly what he did, taking off all of my production facilities, the spawning pool, the Hydralisk den, the Nidus network, everything was getting taken down here. And I ran all my drones back over to my new base, and as you guys can see, starting to build up that spine crawler wall. But yeah, this is actually pretty much how every game with me and Dopa ends up going. We always have the most interesting matchups. For reference, Dopa is an 1800, I believe maybe 1700 ranked Protoss, so this isn't some kind of a, you know, a low-level game. And myself, I am a 1550 Zerg. About. So we're both decently high on the ladder, but for some odd reason we always have the most interesting games. And I think if you guys remember this, watching this on the stream a couple of days ago, then you guys probably remember this game. A lot of people were going crazy in the chat. Now the tentacle is starting to attack down below, and if you're a Protoss player, I don't think Dopa realized I had taken his main at this point, and then he was saying on vent, oh my god, there's a bunch of tentacles attacking me from my original base. So yeah, this was actually, this is where I realized, you know what, I might only be on 1 base, but I can take out the Protoss infrastructure with these spine crawlers, and I was actually hoping that Dopa had not expanded, but little did I know, he did have this 5 o'clock, and he was getting up a gold expansion as well. So really, in retrospect, thinking about this, it's almost as if I spawned down at the 6, and then Dopa decided to just build his entire base at my natural. So not the best positioning for me, and the worst thing was I started to realize here that these minerals were already used and abused by the Protoss player. They are only, some of them at 500, 800 minerals, but look at this, I was going to try to push out, do some damage, but getting cowardly at the last second. And really good placement of buildings by Dopa, preventing preventing the Zerglings from running around. The spine crawlers finally killing off the gateway, the warp gate there. but it's kind of difficult because these spine crawlers can't really go down much further. This is the limit of their range, and I was a bit worried about putting them down a little bit closer because I knew that Dopa had a large force waiting somewhere, the force that took out my main earlier. So I was thinking, you know, I gotta rebuild all my buildings. I have 1,000 gas. I gotta try to get Spire up and try to get some Mutalisks out. I was throwing up every production facility here. You guys can see another Nidus network coming up. But I knew that I had to attack this Nexus if I wanted a chance at victory. But time was definitely running out. Dopa here at 118 army. He was at 2 bases, about to be on a 3rd. So, and I was running off of the last fumes of Dopa's old main base, so I knew I had to make an attack count sooner rather than later. And here we go, coming out with all my Zerglings and Banelings. Can I do enough damage? Dopa once again pulling all of his probes off the line. Great reaction timing. And it looks like I finally get a good surround off, but the Nexus is gonna go down. But arguably, don't know if it was worth it. I actually lost quite a few units in that exchange. And even though the Zerg player here has infested the old remnants of the Protoss, it looks like the Protoss, undeterred, was able to expand to a whole bunch of different locations, has a massive army, and now with that Observer, he can spot the high ground. And I was finally able to get a different type of unit out. You guys can see a Mutalisk on the way. Finally, something else rather than Lings. But here we go, coming out with Lings, trying to do whatever I can to surround the Protoss army, but Dopa with way too many forces and was able to fend me off. So good play from Dopa. Really surprising actually that after he lost his main Nexus, he was able to come back. I wasn't expecting an all-in Protoss counterattack, and it was actually really well played by Dopa. So good congrats to him, well played. And if you guys like this cast, because this game is pretty much over now, as you guys can see. I mean, I have a couple Zerglings here, but all my drones about to get obliterated by the Stalkers and Zealots. So this is pretty much GG, but I do have another game with Dopa. Actually, I have quite a few games with Dopa, but I'll be casting the ones that a lot of people on the stream said was really entertaining. So make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to have another game with me and Dopa coming up soon. I think the next one even better than this one. And yeah, hopefully if you guys enjoyed this broadcast, make sure to subscribe, tell your friends, and by the way, make sure to check out Facebook if you guys ever want to follow me and tune in for these live stream events, or if you guys ever want to play me online or just spectate an actual game with me, follow me on Facebook. That's the best way to do it. I do post regular updates because I'm starting to become like a Facebook kind of crazy guy, so I don't know. Click the link down below. Thanks a lot for following me and subscribing and all that good stuff. So next video coming out soon, guys, just around the corner. HD signing out.